me in continuing to create videos like this one. Now, let's continue supporting me in continuing to create videos like this one. Purchase, you'll also be supporting me in continuing to create videos like this one. Now, let's continue. For Blake, imagination was not merely an act of fantasy or a tool for inventing stories, but a spiritual faculty capable of connecting human beings with the infinite. He believed that ideas were made of the same mysterious substance as visions and dreams, and that if ultimate reality was spiritual in nature, only the imaginative gaze could access it. Hence his famous statement, "If the doors of perception were cleansed, everything would appear to man as it is, infinite." By this, he meant that the physical senses offer us only a limited version of reality. His thought clashed with the enlightenment of his time, which reduced knowledge to what could be measured, touched, or seen. While Enlightenment philosophers saw imagination as a secondary product of perception, for Blake it was the very foundation of existence. He envisioned the cosmos as an interconnected whole, where the human mind, the microcosm, mirrored the divine universe, the macrocosm. He summed it up in the phrase, "God is in the lowest effects as well as in the highest causes," a way of recognizing the divine spark within humanity itself. He even identified Jesus Christ with the divine imagination, calling him the divine imagination and linking him to the creative or mercurial principle in humankind. For this reason, his theology was often considered Gnostic or Hermetic. Like the ancient Gnostics, he distinguished between a lesser God, the lawgiver bound to the material world, Jehovah Elohim, and a higher God, associated with spirit, Jesus, the archetype of forgiveness and imagination. He interpreted the creation and the fall in Genesis as an allegory of a cosmic accident. Humanity, originally united with the divine, fell into matter and became confined by the perception of the senses. In his system, Christ represented the imagination and creative love that could free humanity from the prison of law, matter, and the senses. His visions of angels, demons, and biblical figures were understood as manifestations of eternal truths, what we would now call archetypes, that appeared to him in familiar images, in his case rooted in Christianity. This form of spirituality brought him into conflict with official religion and Victorian morality. He criticized the repressive ethics that, in his view, stifled natural desires and undermined the life of the spirit. From this arose his dualistic vision, in which heaven and hell were not physical places or post-mortem destinies, but states of the soul and ways of perceiving reality. Heaven symbolized law, reason, and order, but also dogma, repression, and rigidity. Hell, by contrast, represented energy, creative desire, and passion, as well as subversion and chaos. For Blake, desire and energy were expressions of the divine vitality within humans, while reason was the force that could either organize them or, when misused, repress them. In his mythology, this opposition took shape in two figures: Urizen, the old god of reason and law, and Orc, the rebellious spirit of passion and revolution. The tension and eventual reconciliation between reason and imagination, order and chaos, heaven and hell, was the core of his entire body of work. He embraced the union of opposites central to Hermetic and alchemical thought, using it to construct a personal mythology that became a complex, mystical, and prophetic system. He summed it up in a now famous declaration: "I must create a system or be enslaved by another man's." Blake did not set out his system in a single volume. Instead,